doing a no call, no show, and then calling a week later, I don't have to cuss you out. I ain't got to say who you think I am. I don't have to do none of that. But I do have to let you know this ain't what's going on over here. I don't do that. You are sending me some mixed signals because I thought that we had a connection, but somebody who has a connection with me would communicate better than you have. A no call, no show can get you fired from a job. So why do you think that you still have access to me?
If a girl keeps looking at you, this is what it means. So if a girl keeps looking at you, this is her way of communicating that she finds you attractive. And it is an invitation for you to come approach her. A girl is almost never going to come up to you first and tell you that she likes you. Even if she thinks you're the most attractive guy she has ever seen, she's still not going to come up to you. So as a man, it is your job to be able to read and understand these signs and then take the initiative. And if you need help with approaching women, then comment the word approach and I'll send you a free training.
Oh, I wish I could get a seat. A girl like me, I wish I could get a seat. My legs are you know. I wish I could get a seat. Me too.
Ladies, we have to pick our battles. We finally got what we wanted. Those men not giving up their seats, that would have been outrageous in the 40s and 50s when chivalry had a shot. We gave up all the privileges that came with it, and it's getting harder to find men who tolerate the double standard.
Women cannot resist a man who does this. He walks away from drama instead of engaging with it. He says no without justifying himself. He remains calm even when she's losing it. He has a life that she can't fully access because he knows not everything needs to be shared. He treats her well as long as it's reciprocated. Put simply, men who are irresistible are that way because of choices they consistently make. Want to learn how to become one of them? Comment irresistible below and I got you.
Man, even if we talk about, even if we move money to the side, because a lot of times money's a huge thing. Resources are a huge thing. What if I just say, man, there's time that I've invested into this relationship that I'm not going to get back. Men are checking out based on that fact. We don't even reach the money. I'm looking and I'm saying, man, this woman's probably not going to be worth my time. Unfortunately.
Genuine question for the boys, okay? I need to know and I need to understand, why do boys not make moves on girls anymore? I know it's not because I'm ugly, but no one ever approaches me, no one ever shoots their shot with me. It just doesn't happen. No one ever approaches me. I had more people come up to me and approach me and ask me for my number or for my social media when I was 15 than I do now at my big age of 23. It's I'm not gonna go up to a guy and be like, yo, babes, you looking fine. What you saying? Let me get your snap, innit? What? I'm not gonna do that. You need to approach me.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
No cell phones, no headphones. Give me all that. We ain't got time, no backpacks, no nothing. Didn't I say no backpacks?
Who's this? Say, man. Hey, we take a state test. Wake up.
I don't care about that.
I swear to God, bro.
Did everyone turn in their cell devices?
Yeah.
If you caught with a phone, it will be confiscated and your choice will be invalid. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Cost me my job and watch what happens. Who's that? Hey, girl, you gonna give me a drum?
It was on vibrate.
I'm trying to break my stuff.
No, Mr. Robinson.
Hey, let me tell you something. When the state pick up that you made the same score and you missed the exact same questions, this is between you and the courtroom. I'm telling you.
Robinson, I didn't
Be quiet. It's testing going on. Be quiet.
Dear God, I know I did not study for this test, but my mama told me ask and you shall receive. So I'm asking to receive this 100. In Jesus' name, submit.
I know that's right.
And another thing that we need to talk about is how modern women's bad attitude, their inconsistency, their up and down, their moodiness really, affects a relationship. The fact that I don't know what I'm going to do, the fact that when I come home, I don't know what's going to happen. That's why you see a lot of men sitting out in the car. I don't know what you're going to say. I don't know what why are you sitting out in the car? Because I'm trying to get a little rest. I don't know what attitude you're going to have today.
Men innately want to make your life easier. As a woman who is with a masculine provider mindset man, that is what they biologically are wired to do, is to make our lives easier. Example, I was stressing out about wedding stuff, and I said, I just don't know how I can provide, And he goes, what are you talking about? It's my job to provide financially. It's your job to provide a loving home. I've got this. And then today, I called him on the way to the bridal salon and I said, what's the budget? And he told me the budget. And I said, okay, what do I do whenever I find one? He goes, just call me. I'll pay for it. Women, I cannot tell you how simple it is. And the fact that the words of, baby, if you don't want to work, just tell me. You don't have to. It's very simple, ladies.
The worst thing a woman can do, statistically speaking, is to get married to a man. Married women do not live as long as single women. They do not earn as much money as single women. They are not as happy as single women. They report themselves in every single way that you can measure sociological data for wellness as being less contented than single women. Married men, on the other hand, married to women, outperform single men by such a measure that it is perhaps the healthiest thing that a man can do is to get a woman to marry him. Married men live longer, they're healthier, they make more money, they advance more in their careers, they're more creative, they're less likely to commit, they're less likely to have homicide, they're less likely to die in car accidents. In every single possible way, the best thing a man can do is to get married to a woman. Those imbalances are exactly equal, meaning the percentage of herself that a woman gives to a man, she loses and he gains. So she's literally giving her life to him.
If someone doesn't like the way that I look, I am very well aware that I am not a supermodel. However, how does my lack of beauty apparently invalidate my stating factual information? I really can't wait to hear this.
And you know, there's a lot of women out there that complain about, you know, the bystander effect in men and how men don't really help out anymore. But it's not really a man's responsibility. But the way that you guys talk, and the way that you guys act, a man doesn't really have any influence. So why am I going to be paying for something that I didn't create? Why am I going to be solving a problem that I didn't get myself into? I can help out here and there, but I'm not your security guard.
I just feel like I deserve to be treated like a queen, you know?
I treat you well.
Yeah, but queen treatment. Opening doors, pulling out chairs, the whole thing.
I do all that.
Not consistently. A queen deserves consistency.
Okay, can you grab me some water?
Excuse me?
I just made a simple request.
And? Get it yourself.
You just asked me to treat you like royalty.
Yeah, you treat me like royalty, not the other way around.
So what am I in this scenario?
You're my man. You're supposed to serve me.
Serve you?
Not like a servant. Like, you know, take care of me. Provide, protect, do things for me.
And what do you do for me?
I grace you with my presence. That's literally priceless.
So I'm supposed to serve you and you just exist?
I bring feminine energy. That's my value.
This sounds pretty one-sided.
See? This is why chivalry is dead. You don't understand how to treat a woman.
Something that you never told her. Your ex-boyfriend.
Are you serious?
What the? Like, this was supposed to be like a fun little interview. Like, it's for real. But why you do that on an interview, though?
No, I don't want to do this anymore.
Are
you serious?
These girls do not have any brain or loyalty. What is your craziest college confession?
I'm my ex-boyfriend's best friend just for fun.
What is going on with women? This loyalty chip is missing, right? It's missing when it comes to their female friends. It's missing when it comes to kind of everyone, right? This and loyalty is what? Loyalty is about virtue. It's about a sense of character that they just don't have anymore. And this is one of the reasons that guys don't want to mess with you, right? Because if you can't be loyal to your own best friend, what are the odds that you're going to be loyal to him, to your man? Like slim to none, right?
I mean, y'all keep on telling men, I don't know why modern women be acting like this. Y'all keep on telling men that he's not necessary. Y'all keep on telling a man he's not needed. Why would I be hanging around you? It'd be like me going to school and then sitting by my friend and say, oh man, you know, we really didn't need that, but you know, thanks. How would you feel if you went to work and people and the boss kept on telling you every single time you worked really hard on your stuff? Oh, we don't need it, but appreciate it. You stop putting forth effort.
I have a son in his 20s. This is a bar that he dropped on me, and it crushed me, but I needed that. He said, if you really loved me the way that you said you loved me, You would have taught me how to survive in the situations that you were afraid of killing me, instead of protecting me and not teaching me how to protect myself. And that is what happens when mothers think that they can raise men. We don't teach them how to protect themselves the way that a man teaches a man how to protect himself. What we do is we coddle them, and we become this wall of security that come crashing down when they get to smelling themselves and they in their 18s and 19s, and now he can't live in your house no more, and you send him out into the world unprotected, and that's why he resents you. And it changed my entire approach to men holistically.
When the man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start say stuff like this. How are you? Good. I ain't good, but I just ain't telling you. Women, let me tell you something. Men are not emotionless. We have deep emotions. We just don't know how to express them. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. If I tell you something in a moment of vulnerability and you use it against me in an argument, you can forget me talking to you forever. And you keep talking about he quiet, he shut down, he's in his man cave, he won't open up, because when he did open up, you shut the door on him.
It's funny how modern women continue to go down a checklist, standards. He needs to be this, he needs to do that. I don't even freaking care. I really don't like a man that's 6 foot. I really don't care for a man that's got 6 figures. Great. That's a starting point. Really, honestly and truly, we can put the visual preferences out of the way. A lot of these modern women need to work on their attitudes. You need to be looking for a man that's going to help you with your attitude. And you're going to listen to his direction, and you're going to listen to his guidance. I don't care if you get a man that's 6 foot. I don't care if you get a man that's 5 foot. Those men need to be helping you work on your mouth, work on the way on accountability, responsibility, integrity. There's so many more things that modern women are completely and utterly terrible at, that they need a man's assistance.
It's really sad to see that a lot of women be demonizing men nowadays so much. Mainly it be like the feministic women, but y'all understand what I'm saying. Both genders be doing each other. That's just a fact of reality. I just don't like it how a lot of women be trying to make it seem like masculinity and being a man is so bad. Like we so this, we so that, right? Let me break something down to y'all. Do y'all realize one of the most things in human existence is feminine? Mother Nature. Mother Nature destroys hundreds of thousands of lives every day. Mother Nature traumatizes both men and women on a daily basis. And it's called Mother Nature. Femininity. It's wild, chaotic, emotional. Like, do y'all get what I'm saying? Life is about duality. I be trying to explain this to people so much. Masculinity and femininity are both extreme in their own ways. Masculinity and femininity both can be traumatizing in their own ways. Masculinity and femininity both do up in their own ways.
No, because a serious conversation needs to be had. Again, we've all heard the saying, how you got 3 to 4 baby daddies. Please explain to us, where did those 3 come from? And honestly, like I always say, you are the common denominator. It circles around you. It's 27, okay? Just like your mama, she was. Y'all need to take a look. Put your real eyeballs on and take a look. You know what I mean? It's everybody else but you and your mama can't be the problem. Your mama couldn't keep a man and you couldn't keep a man, because it's all you do all day. Talk all day, not listen, keeping the kid away from the dad. Like, it's just bad behavior upon bad behavior upon bad behavior. And then you get mad and you get to your 40s and 50s. I've seen a lot of women in their 40s and 50s coming up on my page talking to me. Please, okay? Please. You can never think you can compete. Somebody, she looks good. Yeah, she may look good, but again, she's not competing with no 20 to 30-year-old. I don't know how good the bitch looks. So like I keep saying, day in and day out, you need to take a look in the mirror and really figure this out.
I think that modern women have talked a lot, but men have given modern women a lot of leniency. You said a lot of stupid stuff, and men was like, oh, you know what? She don't really mean that. Let's just keep on being gentlemen. Let's just keep on doing what we were raised to do, what we know to do. No, I'm serious. Stop doing that. And you've said it so many times that a man is like, well, I was going to be a gentleman about it, but she don't want that. Let me back up. And now that's where we are today. You've said it so many times that men are like, maybe that's what she means. Let me move out the way. And then you come back and say, no, this is what I want. And that's where men get frustrated, because now you're going back and forth and you actually don't know what you want. You're double-minded. And men are like, I'm not your little dog to where you just jerk my chain and go over here, go over there. I don't work for you. I'm not your pet. I'm not none of that.
Did you know that men often crave the same amount of emotional security women do? But they often won't bring that up because they don't want to appear weak. Men will often show that they care by asking you questions like, did you eat? Text me when you get home. It's not him trying to be controlling or overbearing. It's his way of showing he loves you, that he cares about your well-being. If a man shares deeply personal information about himself to you, make sure you see that as a major milestone, because that shows just how good your relationship is, that he felt safe and comfortable to do that. A lot of men, when out with you in public, will be like scanning the area automatically to make sure there's nothing dangerous going on. That's why if something crazy happens, usually he's the first to notice, because he's already been looking for situations like that. And that's his way of keeping you safe. A lot of women don't realize that men are also sentimental, that they'll sometimes hold on to little things that mean a lot to them. A lot of women do not realize that after an argument, men will often replay that in their heads, trying to figure out a way to fix the problem so it doesn't happen again.
According to psychology, if a woman has these 5 traits, you're looking at a genuinely good woman. Yeah. And they're rarer than you think. First, she's almost always alone. Not because she hates people, but because she discovered something most never will.
That peace is quieter, softer, and more honest in solitude. Yeah. She doesn't need constant company because she's comfortable with who she is when no one's watching.
Second, she overthinks everything. Life, people, mistakes, heartbreak. Her mind never stops analyzing. She feels everything more deeply than others notice, replaying moments others forget instantly. Psychology refers to this as empathic sensitivity. Third, she reads people like open books. One look, one sentence, and she's already decoded your intentions. She senses energy shifts, tone changes, and hidden patterns before you even finish speaking. Fourth, she doesn't trust easily. Not because she's cold, but because she's seen too many masks, too many promises that turned into lies, too many people who swore forever but disappeared anyway. And most important, she's suffered more than you could imagine. Instead of seeking revenge, she chose silence. Instead of closing off, she kept her heart open. If this is you, you're built different.
Once again, a lot of these modern women, they don't really even know what they want. I want an alpha male. I want a man that's decisive, until you start to realize that the decisive man is a man that checks a couple of things, looks around at a couple of things, and he does what? He makes a decision. And so a lot of times he's just going ahead and moving. I want a man that takes initiative. You don't really even know what a man taking initiative looks like. You're not going to like him. You want too much control. And a man that's decisive like you want, that takes initiative like you want, that man beat and already moved. Whether it's right or whether it's wrong. Just let me know how it goes so the next time I can correct it. If it don't need to be corrected and you just nagging and you complaining, I don't want to hear that. But if it's something that I actually need to hear, I can stop and hear you out. That's how successful men are. That's how successful people are. If I need to stop and hear something and fix it, I can do that. But if you ain't really talking about nothing, shut up talking to me. Modern women get in the face of men that are decisive, of men that are moving. We're not talking about being, wealthy and having a lot of money. We're just talking about a man that makes decisions. I know this. I know where I need to go. And you stand in his way. What about this? What about that? Are you sure about this? Are you sure about that? And it drives a man up a wall because I can't get anywhere. I can't do anything. And at the end of the day, you're going to be complaining again about how we didn't get anywhere. But it'd be because of your mouth. You didn't be quiet when we said, okay, let's go over here. Let's do that. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if we should. Y'all don't. A lot of modern women talk about what they like, and they really don't even know what they're talking about.
You know, I actually do wish that I could be like you sometimes.
Like me?
Yeah, you know, the way you are, just automatic.
That's how you think I am.
That's how I know you are. I've been around you long enough. You're Teflon man. See? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I just insulted you, and you just shrug. You sort of move through space and nothing touches you. I can't do that. I'm just not that way. I get very attached to things, and everything breaks my heart. I'm always picking up stray animals and people and things, and you should see my house. My house is filled with crap that I've had since grade school, and I'll bet that your house is spotless. I mean, if you even have a house, if you even sleep.
Why are you so angry with me?
I'm not angry.
I have a house, okay? I have a home. And I keep things. And I care about people.
Who?
What have I done to you? If you're unhappy with your choices, then that is your responsibility.
According to psychology, if someone has these 5 traits, you're looking at a genuinely good person, and they're rarer than you think. First, they're almost always alone. Not because they hate people, but because they discovered something most never will. Peace is quieter, softer, and more honest in solitude. They don't need constant company because they're comfortable with who they are when no one's watching. Second, they overthink everything. Life, people, mistakes, heartbreak. Their mind never stops analyzing. They feel everything more deeply than others notice, replaying moments others forget instantly. Third, they read people like open books. One look, one sentence, and they've already decoded your intentions. They sense energy shifts, tone changes, and hidden patterns before you even finish speaking. Fourth, they don't trust easily. Not because they're cold, but because they've seen too many masks. Too many promises that turned into lies. Too many people who swore forever but disappeared anyway. Fifth, and most important, they've suffered more than you could imagine, but instead of becoming bitter, they became kind. Instead of seeking revenge, they chose silence. Instead of closing off, they kept their heart open. If this is you, you're built different.
There are plenty of men, y'all, who end up in deep red pill rabbit hole world because he has not learned how to assert his needs, his position, maintain his frame in real life. So he goes into a fantasy world in the red pill rabbit hole where he can flex online in a way that he is not able to show up in his real life.
I don't chase booty.
Go ahead, brother.
If I got to chase my wife, then I'm gonna have to keep chasing her to keep her.
That's right. That's right.
You men that chase women, the moment you start chasing that woman, you're gonna have to keep chasing her.
Keep it up.
That keep her. You're gonna have to keep it up.
That's right.
And once she see you chasing her, she gonna deliberately do things that make you run her down.
That's right.
I won't never chase a woman long as I'm black.
No.
And as far as I know, God ain't changing my color.
I paid 14 for this.
You paid 14 for that?
14 for that.
14K or 1400?
14K for that. You know that ain't no 1400. Look at the cameraman. He's starstruck.
That's a fact. How do you spell men?
M-E-N.
How do you spell us?
U.S.
Put those 2 words together. What's the spell? Menace?
I watched this too much on YouTube, bro. M-E-N. Don't make me sound so.
All right, just give my followers one more answer.
Menace. I don't know menace. It
Menace?
sound like menace. No, menace. Like menace to
Menace.
society.
Because the harsh reality is a lot of y'all don't want men. Y'all want doormats. A lot of y'all want to give men a safe space to have selective masculinity. I'm man enough to f*** you. I'm man enough to pay your bills, but you won't let me be man enough to run the household without a whole bunch of feedback, without a whole bunch of back talk. I'm man enough to take you on trips. I'm man enough to take you on shopping sprees, but I'm not man enough to discipline your children that aren't even mine. You want me to be selective with my masculinity, so you want me to be a superman when it comes to all of your needs, but you want me to be a half a man when it comes to the things that I need.
If I was a guy, I'd be so scared to be in a relationship in America because they are willing to be traditional, but the women are not, and they get nothing in return for their money, their time, or their resources. And the girl ends up cheating or not willing to cook or make a sandwich, and it's just, I'm so happy I'm not a man.
The reason that you have a lot of these guys now saying that they don't want to be in relationships and they don't want to date and it's not worth it to them is just because it's like, I'm giving you what you're asking for. I'm giving you what you say you need. And then when it comes to me asking for what I need, you're just like, no, right? You're just not willing to do it.
When will a woman realize the man she lost? Number one, regret. They realize what they lost and they wonder if it is still fixable. Grass was not greener on the other side. Number two, comfort. They miss the familiarity of the emotional support and the comfort that you gave them. Number three, unfinished business. They want closure or answers that they didn't get before. Number four, nostalgia. They long for the good times and the connection that just once existed. But remember, gentlemen, it's not always about rekindling the love. They would be just trying to fill this void. Stay firm in your boundaries and don't let the past pull you back unless it truly makes sense.
So are you saying that a woman needs to be completely submissive?
Yeah.
What if the man cannot create the environment for a woman to be submissive? I feel like that's the man's role. And if the man can't, make that environment, a woman's not going to be submissive.
Did you already have sex with this man?
Sure, but sex doesn't foster submission.
Well, sex will be the most ultimate form of submission for women. There's not a higher form of submission because in the act of sex, you are submitting your body and your will to this other individual. So if you're already doing the most highest form of submission, why wouldn't you do a lesser form of submitting, which is listening to your man and being in complete compliance to him?
Don't leave me in this thing fighting by myself. Like, if you done checked out mentally, let me know. Let me know. Don't be in this relationship going through the motions. Telling me what you feel like I want to hear. Doing things just because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do instead of it being what you actually want to do. Don't leave me in this thing fighting by myself. It's a lot of people that are in relationships right now that they've checked out of years ago. But they just ain't got the heart to tell their partner. So now this person, is dealing with a bunch of things that they shouldn't be dealing with and questioning themselves and questioning, what plan God got for them and all of this. The whole time you done left them in that relationship fighting for themselves. You know what I mean? They fighting for the relationship alone. Whole time you checking out, you trying to figure out, what's your next situation gonna be. Love that person enough to let them know.
Women, where do you find good men? Here is a pro tip. They are at Lowe's and they are at Home Depot. They are not at the bars, okay? Good men are not out at the bars drinking. They're just not. If there is a product that you would normally go to Target to get that Lowe's sells, go to Lowe's and chat up people. Just say hi, how you doing? How's this, how's that? If you see a good looking fella, he doesn't have a ring on his finger, ask him where something is. Because you probably don't know. I don't know. I don't know where anything in Lowe's is. Now I have a husband for that, right? I don't go to Lowe's very often. But that's where they are.
You know what you don't do enough? Give yourself enough credit for all of the work that you put into your relationship. See, you're so distracted, worried about your ex leaving, them possibly being happy with somebody new, how dirty they did you, that you don't think about how you were being a good person to someone who likely didn't even deserve half of the shit you did. Like, think about how many times you were forgiving for a situation you should have freaked the out about. How many things you let slide on the strength that you could hopefully work through it together. How much effort you put into planning birthdays, holidays, special occasions, just because the type of loyalty you showed despite having 1,000 opportunities to betray their trust, all because love, right? It makes you choose the individual over the temptation, the love over the argument about the dumb. But now you feel like it has you looking stupid. Nah, that's all a fabrication in your mind, convincing yourself that you weren't good enough, when in fact, you might have been too good to somebody who clearly never valued the compassion and pure-hearted love that you gave them in the first place.
You know what is both terrifying and revolting?
What? I can only imagine.
When a man says I'm pretty.
Right. Okay then. So, ladies, I'm sure some of you are wondering what exactly this is about. Well, I have seen lots of videos out there of women asking why men don't seem to want to take women out on dates, why they don't seem to be interested, and why they most certainly have really stopped approaching women in public at all. Well, you just saw one of the many reasons why. Because unfortunately, social media is virtually saturated with lots of women indicating how much they dislike men, they don't want them near them, and they don't even want what would be considered to be positive attention from any man in the form of a compliment, because those are apparently terrifying. And ladies, if you want men to start being interested again, you have to start acting like you don't despise them.
You want to know why men over 40 don't date? I'll tell you why. It's because society raised women to commit to careers, shopping, and hot girl summers, not husbands. And now the men who were once ignored, rejected, and overlooked are watching rebellion backfire and choosing peace over problems. Let's get one thing straight. This ain't about men being better. This ain't about men being weak. This is about men getting wise, men protecting their peace, and men finally realizing what marriage really costs when you choose a woman who ain't built for order, purpose, or submission. And if you're one of those women ready to say, well, maybe he just can't handle a strong woman, sit tight. Because the truth is, he didn't lose interest in you. He gained clarity. The first reason, here's the part women can't stand. Men are realizing their peace is more valuable than your presence. I'm gonna say that again. Men are realizing their peace is more valuable than your presence. So why invite chaos into a house that's already quiet, clean, and under control? A man with structure doesn't chase drama just because he's lonely. He protects his peace like it's gold.
When Mr. Nice Guy finally realizes he has reached his breakthrough, that's the moment I like to call the epic moment. That's the moment he's gonna stop bend over backwards for everyone who never bends over for him. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. That's the moment he's gonna stop chase validation. That's the moment he stops mistaking being agreeable for being respected. Now understand it. The epic moment isn't about turning bitter or cruel or cold-hearted. It's about waking up. It's about boundaries. It's about self-respect. Now the thing is, Mr. Nice Guy gets overlooked. Mr. Nice Guy gets used. But a good man is not Mr. Nice Guy. Good men get used too, don't get me wrong. But a good man in character, a good man is solid. He's kind, but he's not a pushover. Now, Mr. Nice Guy is a pushover. Mr. Nice Guy is a moose boy. Mr. Nice Guy is a yes man. Now, a good man, he's generous, but he's not naive.
Here's another example of why women are the problem sometimes. So women are like, when we go to the gym, the men stare at us. The men stare at us. We don't want you to stare at us. I just watched a video of a woman doing calisthenics and nothing but a crop top and skin tight booty shorts, and there was 3 men around her, and the entire minute video, none of them looked at her. They didn't give a single what she was doing, okay? And so I noticed it naturally, right? And so I went to the comments, and every female in that comment section is like, but no one looked? Oh, so now you want the men to stare at you at the gym? That's a little hypocritical. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? No, it doesn't. How about you just go to the gym and everyone there is minding their own business. Like, if people stare, people stare. If they don't, like, whatever. Big whoop. People are there to fight their own demons. They're not there to, like, oh my God.
Wonderful day. Where are we meeting the men that actually want to date and be in a relationship? Because it's not the dating apps. It's not the coffee shops. Definitely not the bars. Not at my age, because they're all like 21, 22. So they definitely don't want to be in a relationship. And I definitely do not want to be a cougar. I, again, tend to go about 8 to 10 years older than me. I found out even those don't want to date for a relationship. So where are we meeting the ones that want to date and be in a relationship? That are dating to see if we're compatible for a relationship, not other things. No. Help your girl out. Where are we meeting the good men?
Fellas, where y'all at? This lady can't seem to find where all the good men are. He's definitely not in your friend zone, so don't look there. And he definitely wasn't that non-toxic guy you left in your early 20s. I'm positive that there's no good men that earn average income, so continue to ignore all of them. Definitely don't look in my comment section. All them dudes is terrible. Oh, have you tried the guys that have a bunch of kids with different women? I heard they work out great. Avoid churches because good men don't go to church. But nightclubs that serve alcohol are full of them. If you wait till about 1 a.m., there's a group of good men standing on the corner selling pharmaceuticals. All I know is a large majority of women have tried these men out and been amazed by their results. By the way, the wall doesn't exist, and men love women overweight, over 30, especially if they have kids by another man. Stay toxic.
So here's what I've decided. And here's what I think all women should do who are single and like this age. When going out on a first date with a man, coffee, forget the drinks. Here's what we do, ladies. Trader Joe's. Tell our men, you want to meet? We're going to meet at Trader Joe's. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to meet there because number one, fully populated, safe. Okay? Number two, I want to see how you shop. I want to know what you're eating. I want to know how you snack. I want to know if your snacks are cauliflower or if it's chips and cookies and cake. I want to know if we vibe with our food choices. I want to know how you shop. I want to know how nice you are to the cashier. I want to see it in real time. This is what we're doing, ladies. Forget the dinners and the coffees and those meetups where it's kind of like a job interview and we're all on our best behavior. I want to see how you are in a crowded grocery store when the little old lady is, taking up the whole aisle and you have to wait your turn or say, excuse me, I want to see what you do, sir. I want to see what you do. That's my flex. I'm going with it.
Like horse. Horse? Horse.
I just saw a video of a military vet talking about how when they were stationed in Japan, so many guys were coming home with wives. And he was already married to someone back in the States, and he was asking the guys, like, what is the deal with this? And their answer was that these women were so ecstatic to be with them. They were so happy to be with them. Just to be their wives and to be the mother of their children was all that they asked from them. To go work their normal jobs and have a normal average income and do the normal things that a man does, and they were satisfied. And not only were they satisfied, they were in love and happy. And a lot of women might not like this, right? But the reality is feminism has ruined our culture and caused women to be hardened, to be more masculine than ever. And listen, it's caused a feminization of men as well in the process. And in the end, it is our responsibility. It is our fault that all happened. Weak men in leadership allowed our culture to become what it is right now. But this whole passport bro thing is starting to make a lot of sense to guys.
If a man can't spend $75 or $100 on a first date, he just shouldn't be dating. If a man wants to take you on a walk or go for coffee on the first date, say no thanks, and move on. And what do women commonly do to get ready for a first date, especially? New outfit, nails done, hair done, maybe buy some new makeup or perfume or jewelry. Jesse, it's not about the money. On the first few dates, it is. On every date moving forward, it is. When I was in my mid-20s, I think I was 25, a guy wanted to take me to the dog park for our first date because we both had dogs. I said, I'm not going to the dog park on our first date. And so he said, okay, well, what do you want to do? And in my head, I'm like, I'm already planning and we haven't even gone on the first date. So I said, you think about it and get back to me. And he never got back to me. Either he didn't like me enough, or he thought that taking me out to eat was too much money, was too much effort, or he didn't have the money to take me out to dinner. Either way, not for me.
Men listen to this and then you wonder why they are just done with dating. Because why does he have to go all out on the first date when the purpose of the first date is to see if you even like each other? And for me personally, as the woman, I never put in much effort into the first date. Meaning my hair and makeup was the same that I had already done for the day. And the new dress in my closet, I didn't wear that until date number 5 or 6 that my fiance took me on. That was the expensive dinner date. And we threw some axes. My honest opinion is that women that demand these things on the first date, there's a reason for it. And unfortunately, it's because she doesn't typically make it to the second.
Many women out here that would be willing to leave their husbands if they lost their jobs and became financially unstable.
No, I know who I chose. Even if Brock loses everything, and I mean everything, he's too resourceful and he's too smart. So he might be down. He might be down for a season. And the season might be a year, maybe even 2. Good thing for me, I ain't broke and I ain't struggling. So we gonna be okay. And please believe when he gets back up, he's gonna get back up. So I feel like that comes back to who you chose. Are you with a bum that's just okay being down for the rest of their life and they committed to that? Or are you with a person that took a blow? I think there's a huge difference, personally. If he is on a down time where...
Hey, why homegirl so accurate? Because I actually took some major blows in life in front of my wife and kids, in front of everybody. And I was broke and I was down and out. And Justice would still have the audacity to show up and tell people, my man and I, we're going to be back on top, but even better. For 4 years, people laughed at her while she was saying this stuff. They doubted it. They looked at her like she was delusional. But here's the thing. She wasn't crazy. Justice was committed to our vision that we created together. She understood what type of man she chose. And see, anybody can believe in you when it's already working. But when they believe in you when it looks like nothing, that's what loyalty looks like, my guy. That's what conviction looks like. That's what partnership looks like to me. And now look at the life we live in. Because what we saw together eventually became our reality. Probably just saved you from overlooking the person who believes in you before the results actually show up. Venmo or PayPal me $5. Better yet, download the 7-day life reset.
Don't let him go over there.
Well, that's some...
There is no reason for a man to behave like a gentleman with a suit. That's kind of the whole selling point. That would be ridiculous at best and wasteful and dangerous at worst. So that's the answer to the question that began this series. Where are all the gentlemen? They disappeared when the lady went extinct. And it wasn't men who... Women have proudly fought tooth and nail to escape the social restrictions that define that identity over the past 60 years. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that modern women want the best of both worlds. They want the social freedom of the product and the respectability of the lady. And that just doesn't make sense. Like, one person can't be both a lady and a product at the same time. If these designations are to have any meaning whatsoever, they need to be grounded in objective phenomena. And while it's always kind of easy for a lady to become a it's very, very difficult for to become a lady. It is possible, like the Empress Wu, who started out as a concubine in Chinese history, but it is much more difficult than the opposite. So let's be real. The standard template for woman's behavior in the marketplace today is to engage in casual without commitment through their 20s and then settle down into marriage around 30. That is, they want to enjoy the social freedom of a product for 10 to 15 years, and then they want the respectability of a lady for the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, that doesn't make sense to men.
Girls seek revenge.
A grown woman is going to cut you off, move on, and act like you never even existed, which is not a performance. It's a promotion she's made in her maturity to the version of her that can see the clown in you behind that king costume. So if there is a reaction that you can get out of her at this point, it's laughter. Just at how comical your delusion is that she would want to come back to you after all that you put her through, in which she doesn't arrive at this point overnight. It happens in stages. Like in stage 1, that's when she's still sad about your behavior or your betrayal. This is the most vulnerable version of her that's emotional, maybe crying and trying to plead with you to get things right. But then there's stage 2, where that disappointment starts to set in. And now her expectations of you are starting to lower. Then there's stage 3. That's when the audacity you have is causing her to lose all respect for you. At this point, she's going to start creating distance, maybe even leave the relationship altogether. But in the stage 4, if she's committed to her healing, that's when she gets outright disgusted with you. And that's when you've lost her for good. Because once she gets to that stage, her apathy isn't an act. It's an awakening to who you truly are. And don't get confused by her taking a break from dating anybody else. That's not because she's in battle with whether or not to give you another chance. That's because she's still getting over the embarrassment that she gave you the first one. Because at this point, you're going to be blowing her up and texting her, and her responses are going to get slower and slower until they just stop. Not because she's contemplating whether to work things out, but because she's confused as to why you still have enough confidence to reach out. I mean, she went from picturing her last name matching yours to being ready to gag anytime your first name is mentioned around her. Yeah, that type of woman ain't got to destroy you in order to get to this point. She just got to discover her worth. So don't confuse her being silent with her giving you silent treatment to get back at you. That's her sanitizing her spirit now that you've been removed. Because when a woman truly knows that she's the prize, she doesn't want to get revenge on a parasite. She wants pest control so you never come back into her life.
A lot of these modern women refuse to go 50-50. They refuse. I was listening to Stephen A. The other day, and I think he was doing an interview with I want to say Shannon Sharp, and he was talking about all of the things that he brought to the table. And he was like, man, if I'm walking in and I'm having to cook, after all of the things that I bring to the table, I'll take you out to eat. I'll take you out to eat. You know, I'll take you, and he started listing off the things that, yeah, I'll do that for you. But if I have to come in after doing all of that and cook, what do I need you for? And that's the thing a lot of men are asking. You don't have any money. I'm still going to ask the same question. If I have to go out there and bust my behind, because the work's going to be the same. The work is going to be the same. If I have to go out there, I might not get paid as much as Stephen A. But I put in a lot. I might even put in a lot more effort than Stephen A. He might be working in terms of mental. I might be working in terms of physical. The work that I do takes a physical toll on my body. And so if I'm putting my body on the line, he puts his mind on the line or whatever. If we're doing that, but in different ways, we're going to ask the same question. Because the sacrifice is going to be the same. The mental effort, the physical effort is going to be similar. And so I'm going to arrive as a man at the same conclusion. And that's going to be, what is it that you're bringing to the table? I'm telling you, they don't understand. You're going to run into that same question at every level. And the only difference between a man that you think is a lower level and the man that you think is a higher level is that man's going to sit there and look at you. Did I stutter? No.